Good morning. The votes are in. The UN General Assembly passes a resolution to refer North Korea to the International Criminal Court for its human rights abuses. FBI investigations point towards North Korea for the cyber attack on Sony Pictures, according to undisclosed sources. The White House says it is a serious matter of national security. The Blue Dragon Awards, known as one of Korea's most reputable gatherings in the film industry, wrapped up this week. Denny Hong sums it all up. And a taste of Korea in Hong Kong. Joe McPherson checks out the Korean dishes they're loved by the locals on Korea Today, Friday, December 19th, 2014.
From Arirang News, this is Korea Today.
And good morning and welcome to Korea Today on a Friday morning. I'm Kim Min-jung with Kim Young and Jinju, TGIF, everyone.
Right, happy Friday. Now, it is the season of year-end winter festivals, and many of them will open today and tomorrow. And starting in Seoul, the skating rink will open in front of City Hall and will be open throughout the week and over the next couple of weeks.
All right, well, you can see that there are people skating there every year. It does actually open up, and that is the Seoul Festival that will be opening in Pyeongchang,
Trout
right?
Festival.
The Trout Festival. You know, last year I went to the Pingeo Festival, right? And then it ended up not being fully opened, the festivities that is, because the ice hadn't frozen all the way. Well, this year it seems like with the blistering cold, that won't be a problem.
Right, and the last one we saw is in Boseong in Jeollanam-do province, I believe. It's the beautiful lights and everything. So do get out there and try to enjoy these festivals, but do dress warmly. It's crazy cold all across the country.
That's right, definitely. If you have kids, it's one of the best places to go. Your kids will thank you for it. All right, we're going to jump to our top story for this morning. The UN General Assembly has voted in favor of referring North Korea to the International Criminal Court on charges of crimes against humanity by adopting a resolution on the country's human rights record. 116 countries voted in favor, with 20 opposing and 53 abstaining. Although non-binding, the resolution has been hailed as a landmark move by activists, saying it's a significant step towards pressuring Pyongyang to address its heinous human rights track record. The North Korean delegation rejected the resolution, calling it a product of political plot and confrontation. With the adoption, all eyes are on the Security Council, which opens on Monday. Although experts predict the council will add the matter to its official agenda, it is unlikely to lead to concrete action. This is because China and Russia, which hold veto powers as permanent members on the 15-nation Security Council, are expected to shield North Korea.
Following Washington's announcement of normalizing ties with Cuba for the first time in more than half a century, the Korean government is also mulling over re-establishing diplomatic relations with Havana. Korea's foreign ministry spokesman during a regular press briefing on Thursday said Seoul strives to restore diplomatic ties with all countries, irrespective of their ideology and political system. And to that end, it will look into when would be most appropriate to fully normalize ties with the Cuban government. The two sides had severed ties in 1959 when Cuba became the first communist state in the Western Hemisphere. Seoul had been reserved about resuming ties with Havana because of Pyongyang's relations with the socialist state. The spokesman added, as more countries are coming out of isolation and joining the global community, that he hopes the North will follow suit.
And smoking rates for adult males in Korea have dropped to roughly 45% in 13 years, according to Statistics Korea. This is a significant drop from 1999, when 7 out of 10 adult males habitually smoked cigarettes, but the figure from 2012 still stands at the second highest out of OECD nations. Over the same period, the rate for female smokers also dropped to 4% from 4.6%. Figures also show that there's a higher smoking rate among divorcees. Roughly 64% of divorced men were shown to be habitual smokers, while over 12% of divorced women smoked regularly. The government announced an approximate $2 hike on cigarette prices, which will go into effect in January next year as part of its efforts to curb smoking.
Good Friday morning. It's time to run through the front pages of your newspapers now. As you heard just minutes ago, the U.S. and Cuba moved to end 5 decades of Cold War hostility Wednesday local time, agreeing to revive diplomatic ties in a surprise breakthrough in 53 years. This is on all the local papers this morning. Let's see how a couple of them are carrying this issue. We'll take a look at the set of images first. The picture is called Pope Opens Doors for Reconciliation Between Two Hostile Nations, celebrates historic birthday. So Pope Francis had quite a 78th birthday. The pontiff began Wednesday with a celebration and prayers, while his day ended with a historic diplomatic breakthrough between the U.S. and Cuba, in which he played a key role as mediator. The Pope is said to be behind bridging the divide between the two sides by first sending letters to President Obama of the U.S. and President Raul Castro of Cuba, and then having the Vatican host a diplomatic meeting for the two in October. Meanwhile, over on Gyeongyang Shinmun, we'll take a look at this here. North Korea is being brought into the picture. The headline says North Korea now only state remaining in hostility with the U.S. So North Korea is the only isolated country without diplomatic ties with the major Western countries. If we take a look at these flags here, these 4 flags represent the nations that have normalized diplomatic ties with the U.S., all former enemy states, Iran, Libya, Vietnam, and China. Now, taking a look at this image here, you can see how excited the Cuban people are with Wednesday's surprise announcement. They are celebrating to the fullest here after hearing the news. Looking at these sub-headlines, particularly in the wake of a prisoner exchange, President Barack Obama said Washington was ready for a new chapter in relations with Communist Cuba. He admitted the U.S. trade ban had failed and said he would urge Congress to lift it. Meanwhile, Canada was also praised for hosting secret talks between the two for a year and a half. Now we'll move on to some local headlines. First up on 조선일보, this one here is about a possible hacking incident, and the article is titled Internal Documents for Korea Walsong Nuclear Reactors Leaked. And taking a look at the article closer, the paper says the state-run Korea Hydro and Nuclear Power said yesterday it has begun an internal inspection as well as requested a probe into a suspected incident of hacking of confidential data, such as a radiation exposure report and employee contact information as well. The compromised data, which also included information about the Korea and Walsong nuclear reactors, were leaked via a blog online, and the blog has since been shut down. Wrapping up with a look at the Korea Economic Daily. For this headline right here in the center, it says Samsung to produce smartphones in the $90 range, targeting Xiaomi's cheap handsets. Looking at these sub-headlines, says the company is planning to launch a smartphone based on the operating system Tizen in India tomorrow, a device dubbed Z1, which will be priced under $100. The budget phone is targeting China's low-cost smartphones, which the Daily indicates is a game of chicken between Korean and Chinese handset makers. And that was a look at our local headlines for this Friday, and following are the stock numbers from Thursday.
You know, it's not just Pocheong County, Jeollanam-do province that's holding a light festival, but over in Pocheong, Gyeonggi-do province, another light festival is being held.
Right, it's called a Fairy Tale Festival, I believe. It's going to be beautiful. Our Chun Sung-cho is standing by right there for us, so let's go over to her right now. Good morning to you, Sung-cho.
Good morning, Sung-cho.
Good morning to you all. It's the last weekend before Christmas, which is just 6 days away from today. And if you're not excited about it yet, stay with me here because I have a big surprise prepared for all of you, which will instantly set you up on a festive mood. Trust me, it'll be like magic. Okay, so I know you can see anything right now. It's pitch black, dark here, and that's the whole point. So wait for it. Drum roll, please. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Woo! Oh my God! Look at all these lights! Isn't it pretty amazing? It's so beautiful. I feel like I just stepped inside of a Christmas card or something. So, okay, so let me get on this cart to give you a better view of the village. All right, so get on the cart. 출발해주세요. Let's go. Ooh, all right, so we're driving across the Santa village right now. 좀 더 빨리 움직여주세요. All right, so, oh my God, you see all these different lights. This is the Christmas tree. So if you're wondering, we're in the, this is a botanical garden called Herb Island in Pocheon, Gyeonggi-do province. I had to wake up extra early to come here this morning, and which took about an hour and a half by car from Seoul. And I think it's totally worth it, even though it meant I had to ditch some sleep. All right, so let me get off the cart. So we're in the Santa Village section of the park, and where they set up all different kinds of thousands and thousands of glowing multicolored LED lights everywhere, as you can see. And then of course you see all these life-sized Christmas ornaments too. You see Santa Clauses. Here you see like they set up really cute stations here. You see Santa Claus. Actually, there are 300 of them all across the village. And then you see reindeers and sleighs everywhere in the village. And over there, there's a light tunnel where you can write your wishes on a heart-shaped card and hang it up on the wall. All right, so here was a look around the Santa village here in Herb Island in Pocheon, in the city of Pocheon. It's a great place to visit with your family and loved ones. And I hope you like my surprise and are already feeling jolly and excited about next week. And I'll be back later in the show with some other updates. Back to you guys for now in the studio, Minjang.
Wow, absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Songchu, for that. But there is a lot of surprise and deep disappointment over Sony Pictures' decision to pull the release of its controversial film, The Interview. We'll turn to our Eunice Kim, who's standing by at the news center with the latest on this. Good morning to you, Eunice.
Good morning.
Now, many people are calling the decision a loss for freedom of speech, and the White House is now viewing this hacking attack as a national security issue also.
Right, that is what they're revealing. While a lot of people are still scratching their heads over what just happened, the White House did say it has been monitoring this particular cyber attack very closely, with top national security officials meeting about it every day. You'll remember the hack attack revealed personal emails by Sony executives and pushed out unreleased films, as well as the personal data of so many staff online. White House spokesman John Earnest said an appropriate response is being formed to the work by a, quote, sophisticated actor with malicious intent. He did not, however, attribute it to North Korea, noting the investigation by the FBI and the Justice Department was ongoing. Meanwhile, there are calls to get The Interview, that Sony Pictures movie about the fictional assassination of North Korea's leader, released for free online. One-time presidential contender Mitt Romney also chimed in, telling Sony in a tweet it should not cave but fight back, and also collect a $5 donation from viewers to go toward fighting Ebola.
Now on to Europe now. There has been an interesting ruling on obesity. The EU's highest court ruled that being overweight could be seen as a disability in certain circumstances. Tell us more.
Right. The European Union's top court, the Court of Justice, did consider this case of a childcare worker who was obese. He argued that he was let go from his job because of his weight. So the EU court sided with the plaintiff, saying, yes, though obesity itself is not a disability, it can be considered one, particularly when it is proven that it causes certain hindrances. So groups defending the rights of the obese praised the ruling as a step forward against obesity discrimination, saying that in the past employers didn't feel the obligation to accommodate their obese workers because they viewed it as entirely their fault. Now it is now up to national courts to work out the details of what this judgment means, but it could open the doors to those who experience long-term impairment due to their obesity to disability legislations.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you, Eunice, for that.
Sure thing.
And still to come on Korea Today, we'll take a closer look at the Blue Dragon Awards, known as one of Korea's most reputable gatherings in the film industry, which wrapped up this week. We'll look at which Korean movies made lasting impressions on crowds this year. Denny Hong sums it up for us, so stay tuned. The winners of this year's Good Design Awards have been revealed, and guess what? 5 Korean cars made that list.
And fuel efficiency and safety may be the things that you look into when buying a car, but design is also a crucial deciding factor for many. Let's find out more with our Seo Misorang, who joins us here in the studio. Good morning, Misorang.
Good morning, guys. Design is the most important for me. But the Good Design Awards, it's considered one of the 3 major international design awards, along with the Red Dot and IF awards. Now this year, 17 cars received the Good Design Award, 5 from Korean automakers. So from Hyundai Motor, mid-size sedan Sonata and premium sports sedan Genesis got the award. Genesis actually got this year's Red Dot Award as well. While from its sister company Kia Motors, full-size sedan K9, electric vehicle Soul EV, and concept car GT4 Stinger also received the award.
Interesting looking cars, but for me, color matters the most.
Well, what's your favorite?
Yellow.
Yellow?
Really? I don't have one.
I'll go with white.
White.
Is that the Stinger?
This is a Stinger, so the yellow car. Now, apart from these cars, 2 major products won the award as well. So from Yum Yum, we have baby food making kits, and from Glasslock, freezer containers also got the awards. Meanwhile, after Sony Entertainment announced that it's pulling the plug on the release of the film The Interview, there were many disappointed fans online. So let's have a look at some of the responses. No, I was really looking forward to watching it. And while others thought, that Sony should fight fire with fire, it's already made. I wish Sony would release it on the internet and just say that they got hacked again by another group. And another popular response, what a shame, it would have done pretty well if it was released because of all the free marketing. And wrapping up, US media website Mashable released a list of the 50 most tweeted songs of 2014. And coming in at 17th place, the most tweeted K-pop song of the year was CN Blue's Can't Stop. Now for K-pop followers, this isn't surprising because when the song was released back in February, the song ranked #1 on many iTunes charts around the world. Hong Kong, Taiwan, Macau, Singapore and Thailand, while in Korea, it topped the Count music chart for 3 straight weeks. Following right behind CN Blue on the list was Girls' Generation's Mr. Mister, coming in at 18th place on the chart.
It was not only that song, but the album in which the song was in was quite popular.
Right, the album Can't Stop, right. So it's won awards at the Melon and Mama Music Awards, and Billboard.com named it as one of the 10 best K-pop albums of the year as well. So big accolades.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Orang, for that.
You're welcome.
And stay with us on Korea Today because we're going to bring you a taste of Korea in Hong Kong. Now, Korean cuisines has become a popular choice even in the bustling food mecca in the heart of the colorful streets of Hong Kong. Foodie Joe McPherson checks out the Korean dishes there loved by the locals. You don't want to miss it.
All right, we're going to talk about fruits and some pears now. You want a sticker there? All right, well, exports of Korean fruits are expanding around the globe, and according to recent data, the figure surpassed $233 million last year. That's a 50% jump from 2008. And among many Korean fruits exported, pears make up the majority.
Yeah, and they're huge, and they're quite different from the pears that you can see overseas. They're bigger in size. They're rounder, right, with golden brown skin and the white dense flesh on the inside once you get into it. So usually with the skin, you're not supposed to be eating the skin along with it, just like an apple. But in fact, you're supposed to get a knife, which I wish I had.
We were gonna do it, but I guess you don't have the knife.
Why don't you just get the knife over here? You have it over there, right? So we're gonna have our assistant director come in with a knife.
Because it's really interesting how we cut the pear. It's totally different from the way people in the West do it. So
okay, we normally have the way to do it. We first just cut out the little top there. And then basically you want to get under that skin and then go straight down like this, right? So, I mean, the better you are and the better you get at this, and the thinner the skin, obviously, right? You want to save the core for people to eat.
Also, if you're really good, you can do it in one go, as in like...
You just jinxed me right there. I was just about to do it.
You're supposed to do it in one long
We'll
string.
leave Young to finish that pear. And today we're going to take a look at what kind of effort Korea is making to further promote its unique pears in the global market. Take a look.
Korea has over 20,000 pear orchards nationwide. Generally, the pears are harvested in September and October. And since they have dense flesh, they can be stored for up to 3 months. This is a pear storehouse in Ansong, one of Korea's 5 major pear production areas. There are about 30 species of pears. European pears have softer flesh and generally taste and smell sweeter. Asian pears that are cultivated here in Korea are called shingo pears. They're about twice the size of a man's fist and have golden brown skin with white dense flesh. Notably, shingo pears are juicy, sweet, and crunchy. On average, they have a Brix value or sweetness level of 11, equivalent to that of an orange. Pears harvested this year have a Brix value of 13.
Because of our natural environment, Korean pears taste delicious. We have 4 distinct seasons, and when the pears are in their developing stages, there's adequate rainfall, while during the season of harvest, there's a big difference in daily highs and lows with a lot of sunlight, so the pears get sweeter.
So what do foreigners think of these Korean pears? We held a sampling event at Seoul's multinational hotspot, Itaewon.
I have this pear, this kind of pear in Malaysia, my country. But here, this one tastes very sweet, and the size is very big. I don't have this kind of size in Malaysia, so it tastes very good. Yeah.
I don't think this exists. We have to import it. Hawaii makes something similar. Sure. This would be a great market in America for export.
Korean pears are gaining more popularity overseas with their distinctive taste. Exports started on a smaller scale in the 1990s, and now that has spread across the world. Currently, 31 places, including the US, Taiwan, and Hong Kong, import Korean pears. Just last year, Korea exported over 20,000 tons, raking profits worth nearly $55 million.
The quality of pears vary depending on the production area, so they are sorted mechanically. We have a universal standard for shape, color, and sweetness to ensure we export the same quality products everywhere across the world. This also gives farmers the opportunity to sell their pears for the prices they deserve, not only in the local but also international market.
But with this growing popularity, in the US, some vendors started illegally selling Chinese pears as Korean. These incidents highlighted the need for a unified brand and led to the creation of the label K-Pear.
10% of what's produced here in Korea is exported. Pears are produced globally. but Korean pears have high quality, so we've seen cases in which people will pawn off other pears as Korean. This is why we've launched a unified brand, K-Pear, and we're promoting it overseas.
It's not only that, as more countries seek out Korean pears, they are even customized to meet the demands of consumers in different regions. Southeast Asians prefer larger pears, while the US and European countries, smaller ones about the size of a fist, are more popular. In other countries, pears are mostly enjoyed right off the tree, but in Korea, they are used for cooking as well. Pears are especially rich in antioxidants, and during the change of seasons, some eat pears steamed or roasted with honey.
Eating pears in their natural state is good, but I would also recommend steaming or roasting them with honey or consuming the pear extracts. One of the characteristics they have is that when they are heated, the amount of flavonoid and polyphenol increase, so it's better to eat without peeling the skin. Also, pears have an enzyme that tenderizes meat, so it's good to eat them together.
Korean pears are packed with nutritional benefits and can even be used for cooking as well. Last month, they hit the shelves in Mexico for the first time. Hopes are this will lead to the opening of other markets in Central and South America.
And TGI Friday, everyone, as we kick things off with a pair of winter sports news. Starting off with the ongoing planning for the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics as Korean Prime Minister Chung Hong-won met with the organizing committee on Thursday. And the Prime Minister himself made it clear that the 2018 Winter Games will not be split with another city, as he dismissed any possibilities of co-hosting the event. And during the meeting, officials approved the plans for a ceremony hall where the opening and closing ceremonies will take place, as a 40,000-seater will begin its construction in January of next year. Meanwhile, the new transportation plans were also revealed as travel time from Incheon International Airport to the Winter Games venue will be shortened by 20 minutes with the renovations. More winter sports news, this time to the fourth stage of the 2014-2015 ISU Short Track World Cup, which kicks off today in Seoul, as a couple of teenagers are expected to get all the spotlight during the event. Of course, one of the teenagers is Olympic gold medalist Shim Seok-ki, who at the age of 17 has been dominating the women's competition this season, only to have her 13th consecutive gold medal finish come to an end last week in Shanghai. But 16-year-old Chae Min-jung has been making the headlines as of late, even beating out Shim Seok-ki in the 1,000-meter event last week. All eyes will be on the two teenage sensations as the event kicks off at the Mokdong Ice Rink. And now moving over to baseball this time, where Thursday marked D100 until the 2015 KBO season kicks off. It also means the 100 days until the Suwon KT Wiz make their debut. Now on Thursday, the 10th KBO team held a ceremony at the Suwon Baseball Stadium, introducing some of their newest acquisitions to the media. Their veterans like Lee Dae-hyung, Kim Sa-yul, and former MVP Kim Sang-hyun were on hand, looking forward to the 2015 season with their new team. And while it's unlikely that they'll have a top 4 finish in their inaugural season, confidence is high for the Suwon KT Wiz. And that's going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day and see you guys again for your sports needs.
Well, time now to get a check on the weather with our Chun Sung-cho.
All right, we'll go back to Pocheon in the Gyeonggi-do province for more on that. Sung-cho, tell us all about it.
It's negative 14 degrees Celsius here in Pocheon, Gyeonggi-do province, freezing cold. The snow from a couple of days ago hasn't even melted completely. It's still on the ground, as you can see behind me. And I'm kind of jealous of you over there in Seoul, just because the conditions should be a lot milder for today there. The cold snap that was lingering around for the last couple of days has subsided, and a high-pressure system over the East Sea is creating nice and clear conditions all around the nation. However, things will turn a little bit different as we head into the day. A ridge of low pressure with a cold front ahead of it will gradually approach from the northwest, and this will bring in lots and lots of clouds with precipitation. It'll first start with the west coast in the form of either rain or snow and spread to the rest of the peninsula by tonight. Anywhere from 1 to 5 centimeters of flurries will dust over most regions, and toward the east, over here in Gangwon-do province, up to 10 centimeters or even 15 centimeters in the mountainous areas are expected. So people should definitely keep that in mind when making plans for the weekend. Maybe go skiing or snowboarding. You'll have plenty of this natural, beautiful, fluffy snow all over on the slopes. And with that, let's take a closer look at today's temperature readings. Midday highs are all above freezing unlike yesterday. Seoul will remain relatively chilly at 1, but over in southern regions the conditions are a lot warmer, such as in Jeju at 10 degrees Celsius. Temperatures will dip again after the wet conditions tomorrow. This is all for me with the weather forecast.
Now we have less than 2 weeks left in the year, so today we have an annual wrap-up of the stories from Korea's film industry, and joining us now is our very own Denny Hong. Good morning, Denny.
Good morning, Denny.
Good morning, Denny. Good morning. As you mentioned earlier, the Blue Dragon Awards did happen this past week on Wednesday, and it's definitely one of those awards where you have more recognition placed on the work itself and the acting quality, and also it's the only award in the world that has its evaluations made public, and so we're going to be taking a look at the winners and of course the films from this year. The Blue Dragon Awards, or the Cheongyong Film Awards ceremony, is in its 35th year, and it took place in the heart of Seoul at Gwanghwamun. It's known as one of the most prestigious and long-standing film awards, and befitting its name, many of Korea's best made their appearance for the night. Kim Hye-soo, an icon of the awards, was there to host the ceremony again for the 16th time. Song Seung-hyun, Jung Woo-sung, and Lee Jung-jae, some of the country's best, were there on hand to meet the crowd. Also, Kim Woo-bin and Park Yu-chun, both of whom have seen explosive popularity, also drew out a lot of screams from their fans. The women on the red carpet really stole the spotlight, though. This year, a lot of them wore toned-down colors with elements of provocativeness.
It's amazing how they make it look like they're not cold.
We're talking about sub-zero temperatures.
Son Ye-jin and Han Ye-ri showed off plunging back lines.
Ooh.
Now that's real acting. I'm not cold.
Ooh, what about her?
Yep. A newcomer to the scene, No Soo-ram went all out with a revealing sheer dress, turning a lot of heads.
My goodness.
With a stream of Korea's top film stars in place, the Blue Dragon Awards opened its curtains.
청룡영화상 시상식 여러분 반갑습니다. 김혜수입니다.
안녕하세요. 유준상입니다. 반갑습니다.
This year was full of Korean films that put out outstanding performances, and at the awards, a total of 21 pieces made it into the final competition.
해무 박유철 씨.
This year, the Newcomer Award went to idol-turned-movie star Park Yu-chan, as well as Kim Se-ron, who went from adorable kid in The Man from Nowhere to a stunning female actress, showing a promising future in the film industry.
That's a once-in-a-lifetime award.
Indeed. But what drew the most attention was the heated competition between Roaring Currents and The Attorney. Both pieces racked up more than 10 million ticket sales, and the final winner came out to be not Roaring Currents, but The Attorney. The movie took home 4 awards for Best Movie, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress, and the Popular Star Award.
오늘 아쉽지 않으세요? 아니요. 받을 사람들 다 잘 받았어요.
올해보다 2015년은 더 뜨거운 사랑 관객 여러분께서 한국 영화에 보내주셨으면 합니다.
The Blue Dragon Film Awards is known for looking at the quality of the movie and depth of acting rather than the popularity of the actors and how much celebrity spotlight they receive. And this year was no exception. The award ceremony also highlighted some noticeable trends in the industry this year. One of the main trends was the sheer variety. Notable among the award-winning pieces and others in the competition, movies based on true stories such as The Attorney, based loosely on the past of late President Roh Moo-hyun's days as a human rights lawyer, and Whistleblower, which is an account of the huge stem cell cloning scandal involving Dr. Hwang Woo-seok, did particularly well this year. Haemu, which is about 6 sailors and how they help stowaways on the sea, and Scarlet Innocence, a story of unfulfilled desires and the plotting of revenge. Both deal with strong and heavy emotions, which also caught people's attention. But one of the biggest trends this year would be period films, starting with the mega hit Roaring Currents that centers around Admiral Lee Sun-shin's historic battle at Myeongyang. The comic adventure-based movie The Pirates also saw much better results than expected, and the action film Gundo, Age of the Rampant, based on the Joseon Dynasty, also did well.
Ouch.
전군 출정하라.
Without question, Roaring Currents dominated the industry this year, with over 17 million in ticket sales, finally surpassing the previous record held by Hollywood blockbuster Avatar.
In times of instability and uncertainty, I think it may be because people are in need of comfort and a figure who can provide that.
Another leading trend of Korean films this year was the performance of female actresses. Kim Hee-ae returned with her classic acting in the film Thread of Lies. Son Ye-jin pulled off 2 completely different roles in Blood and Ties and The Pirates, and Shim Eun-kyung delivered some great laughs, putting herself on the map for comedy in Miss Granny, acting out a lady in her 80s as someone in her 20s. And finally, there's Chun Woo-hee, who has become a rising star in the film industry with her performance in Hangongju. She realistically acts out the role of a 17-year-old student who gets sexually violated and, despite being the victim, has to continue on with her life on the run, hiding from her assailants who seek forgiveness.
The role that Chun Woo-hee plays is a high school student who gets gang raped. Usually for a role like that, you see vocal expressions of it with a lot of tears, but she managed to internalize those feelings and express it in a deeper way. So that's why I think she was the best performing actress this year.
Despite it being an independent film with a subject less popular in the commercial market, and with her gripping performance on the screen, she managed to get past other established names, winning the honor of Best Female Actress this year.
유명하지 않은 제가 이렇게 큰 상을 받다니 열심히 하겠습니다. 좋은 연기 보여드리도록 노력할게요. 감사합니다.
Another trade of Korean films this year was the return of The Kings.
아직 신에게는 12척의 배가 남아 있사옵니다.
대한민국 헌법 제1조 2항 대한민국 주권은 국민에 있고 모든 권력은 국민으로부터 나온다.
We're talking about actors Chae Min-sik and Song Kang-ho, who were the main leads for the 10 million crowd mega hits this year, Roaring Currents and The Attorney. But at the Blue Dragon Awards, Song Kang-ho took home the honors of Best Actor this year.
존경하는 이수신 장군님, 최민식 선배님, 정우성 씨, 이성윤 씨, 또 박해일 씨, 이렇게 훌륭한 배우들하고 같은 자리에 하게 돼서 너무 영광스럽고.
Just last year, Song Kang-ho became a 30 million crowd actor with 3 popular films, Snowpiercer, The Face Reader, and The Attorney, bringing in movie lovers back to back. Meanwhile, Chae Min-sik also made his debut in Hollywood with the film Lucy, directed by Luc Besson, recording one of his best years since his sensational performance in the 2003 thriller movie Oldboy. And thanks to actors like this, Korean films had a good run in the box office this year, but not without room for improvement.
It's unfortunate that the trend in action-heavy movies is accelerating. We saw quite a few small-scale foreign films doing surprisingly well, and that shows there are needs of the audience that Korean films have yet to meet. So I hope to see movies with stronger storylines and characters in the future.
Digging up new talents, novel themes, and approaches on the silver screen, this year has left behind some impressive records as we wrap up the year. And this will give a boost to the country's film industry as it moves forward.
That's interesting. Now, one of the highlights of any film award is really the Best Actress award, and it usually goes to some of the biggest names in the industry. But this time, I think Chun Woo-hee, even she was surprised that she got the award.
I would agree with that, definitely, for sure. I think because when it comes to this award, definitely there is a focus, of course, on the film itself as well as the quality of the acting, which I think belies the influence that you might see on more of the films, I guess, that you would see in other different award ceremonies. And Hang Bong-joo actually earlier this year swept up 9 other awards at the film festivals overseas, and Chun Woo-hee received a lot of praise for her performance. And maybe we think of her as a newcomer, but she already appeared in the 2011 hit Sunny as a delinquent high school student. And it was a small part, but made a lasting impression from her for her evil character. And then in Thread of Lies, she was cast again as a high school student with a sense of strong responsibility. And then finally in Cart, she appears as a lively character trying to enter the job market. So it goes to show her versatility in her roles that she's been doing.
You know, I think this time around, I think it happens a lot at the Blue Dragon Awards, but this year the scales weigh towards the lesser of the blockbusters, right? We're talking less budget, right? And independent movies, less mainstream movies, they did very well.
Well, in the case, let's say, for Diving Bell this year, of course, too. Mainly that one was based on the ferry accidents that happened earlier this year as well, too. And also when it comes to Cart, which deals with irregular workers and the strikes they go on. My Love, Don't Cross the River, which is about love and parting between an older couple. It premiered on the 27th of last month, but this week it surpassed the 1 million mark only 18 days after premiered, and it's ranking first place in the Korean box office charts as well.
I guess the popularity of these independent films come from how they approach these sensitive social issues, but also when it comes to their popularity, you can't leave out word of mouth or the reviews from people.
I think in the past in the industry, you kind of relied on the big celebrity name, and that just draws in people. But now social media and word of mouth is, of course, gaining more momentum. When the case of you know, the film My Love, Don't Cross the River, that one, I think they thought originally it was going to be more the 30 to 40 people crowd, but then a lot of 20s started watching it as well too. And so you have people that are recommending films, including like The Pirates, which they thought wouldn't do that well, but then more people, word of mouth, was starting to spread. And so it's not just about the big names anymore. The trend is gearing towards, of course, the quality of the films. And that's a good trend to go towards.
And the film is doing so well that the director now has to tell everyone to stop visiting the old lady, because
apparently she had to move out of that original house to avoid all the fanfare.
This film became. All right, well, thank you so much, Denny.
No problem.
Thank you, Denny.
내 인생은 이토록 화려한
So last week we said our goodbyes to Matthew Chung. We are starting on a new slate, a clean slate, with our new reporter, Joe McPherson. He's actually quite a known name in the industry also,
goodness.
right?
Have you had your food today? Not yet, not yet. I'm hoping to a little bit after the show.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe.
Well, again, my name is Joe McPherson. I run the blog zinkimchi.com. We've been around for almost 11 years now. And yeah, that's basically what we do. I've been writing about Korean food since I came here over 10 years ago, and we have a team of writers, and that's what we're doing now.
All right. Well, this time you checked out Hong Kong and the Korean foods that are doing popular in Hong Kong, right?
That's right. So Korean food is really getting big in Hong Kong. In fact, there's an entire street dedicated to Korean restaurants. And in the past, Korean restaurants tend to have a lot more variety in their dishes, just humongous menus, but now the market's maturing a lot more. And we're seeing a lot more specialization. So why don't we go to Hong Kong and check out the Korean taste you can find there. Heading to Hong Kong.
That's a convenient way to get around town.
It's the glowing gem of Asia. We're in Hong Kong. Known for its spectacular views, its glitzy streets are lined with stores and shopping malls, making it a shopper's paradise. It's also a paradise for foodies, and Korean food is starting to make its presence known. With more people looking for a taste of Korean cuisine, there are now plenty of places in Hong Kong to do so. So let's check out a few places. When it comes to Korean cuisine, one of the quintessential dishes is wangabi, or king-sized ribs. And it's also very popular here in Hong Kong. But here at Arirang restaurant, they do things a little bit differently. Especially in Hong Kong, they're eating the galbi a little differently here. They're eating it more as sambap. Sam, which is the leaves wrapped in rice right here. Now, sam actually means like a wrap, like a gift or something like that. Makes things a little bit healthier. Here, let's get a little more doenjanggang on here. Look at this, look at this. Oh, wow. Thank you. So this is a little different. This is jangban naengmyeon, and jangban means platter. And this type of naengmyeon you eat with friends. You share this. And look right here, you have the noodles right here. We're gonna grab a big bunch of them. And this is one distinguishing feature of Korean food, is this need to keep the heavy meals from being too heavy by having a little bit of a sweet and sourness to it. Here we go. Oh my, it's pretty long. There's also the Avenue of the Stars. Similar to Hollywood's Walk of Fame, this is where Hong Kong celebrities leave their marks, such as Jackie Chan. There are also recreations of sets so you can star in your own movie. Hangaram is as authentic as it gets for Korean food. Here you can enjoy a full course Korean meal, beautifully laid out on a table. So amongst this army of dishes, the highlight has to be the borigulbi, yellow kravina. It's been slightly dried. And just a morsel of this on top of rice has got to be amazing. So just get a little rice on your spoon right there. Grab yourself a little bit of fish. Put it on top. Look at that right there. Not really fishy. It's kind of like fish bacon. So this is honga muchim, which I call it a spicy skate salad. This has a very tangy flavor, and it's an unexpected hit when people try this for the first time. Wow, it's strong. What makes it really interesting, this is skate that actually is shipped from Korea, and it's actually marinated for a day in makgeolli, which is a rice beer, before being mixed with spices. So you get a very complex, potent blend of flavors that you're not going to get anywhere else. Ooh. It is Hong. It is definitely Hong. We're at Pyeongchang Galbi. Now, look around you. This may look more like an upscale cafe than your typical Korean barbecue house. It looks a little trendy to me. But the taste here is not much different than what you get in Korea. In fact, they have a very special galbi and a very special samgyeopsal. You ready? One of the favorites here is the 8-color samgyeopsal. Now look what we have here. We have original pork belly, we have garlic, ginseng, herb, wine, curry, soy sauce, and a good spicy gochujang. You gotta have gochujang. Check that out. Oh yeah. It's cooking. What you want to do, you kind of want to cook this a little fast. You want some high heat. Just the melding of all the flavors is just amazing. Here we go. I'm gonna try the wine one. Look at this, nice and red. There we go. That's classic. Check this out. This is cheese dunggalbi. Now dunggalbi is kind of like baby back ribs. And this is actually, right now, this is like one of the big trends in Seoul, especially in the Hongdae area. And basically what you got ribs just covered in cheese. Oh, here we go.
We have some of the dishes out here in the studio.
Oh, I would have liked that cheese rib also, but
that was so good. Yeah, should have brought that.
Some of the dishes here are more traditional, right?
And you can't get beyond tradition. I mean, you can't get any more traditional than kalbi right there. I mean,
kalbi,
this is the best thing. I think it's always voted in the top 10 of favorite dishes from foreigners and from the international community.
I would say top 5.
Top 5?
Top 5. But what's interesting in Hong Kong is they're starting to get into sam, the lettuce wraps. They're starting to look a little more at their waistlines a bit. I just use my fingers.
That's the way you're supposed to do it.
That's what I want to show our viewers. This is the way to enjoy it. Maybe Young can do the honors.
This is how we used to do it. I mean, this is how we normally do it. You just grab it just like this. The
right by the bone.
Right. That's LA galbi we have right there. The way it's cut. Yeah. Oh wow. Well, there you go. There's your breakfast. Yeah. So we're always wrapping things in Korea in leaves, and that's starting to really get popular in Hong Kong as well.
Okay, and 홍어 무침, of course. We have to talk about that. It's an acquired taste. Not everyone loves the dish.
Okay, the fact that it's fermented a little bit, right? It's fermented a little bit, which kind of has a ting that gives you a scent of ammonia at the same time. There is a bit of fishiness to it, but it's an acquired taste, but it's so good once you get used to it.
I've noticed Young gets really excited whenever we talk about kwamegi.
Remember what you said about kwamegi?
Yeah.
Oh. We're going to have to get you into hongo.
But
not today.
Muchim is less pungent than
this is weak. This is weak sauce.
What foreigners think about this dish?
It is still very tough, but surprisingly, it's starting to get some traction in Hong Kong. Yeah, and you're right. It has that ammonia smell.
It hits you.
The first time I tried it, the owner of the restaurant told me, breathe in through your mouth and out through your nose.
Oh, that's a good tip.
And to be honest, the first time I tried it, I said, why?
yeah, but it's funny. It took me around, they say it takes you around 10 times to like a food.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It took me around 12. And now I really like it. And but in Hong Kong, they don't ferment it as long, and they also marinate it in some makgeolli, so it's not as strong.
Okay.
And I heard that some of the popular Korean dishes are relatively quickly introduced in Hong Kong.
Right. They, oh goodness.
As a cheese rib we saw in the report.
That's kind of funny, is that's currently a trend right now in Seoul, especially in the Hongdae area.
Right.
And so immediately it's right over there. And it's really cool because these are really spicy ribs. And, but it really helps that you have this cheese there kind of kind of dulls down the spiciness a little bit.
Well, it beats talking about it. We have to go try it, right? So how about tonight? It's a Friday. Not after the
fly to
program.
Hong Kong?
No. We'll
Are you providing the tickets?
No. We'll get some of those the cheese ribs there, right?
Those are so good.
You know, I've been toying with this hongo muchim.
You should try
I picked it up and put it down, I think, at least 5 times. Still don't have the guts to try. Maybe after the show. All right, well, this is where we say thank you so much,
Thank you.
Joe, and see you
Thanks,
next week. All right, well, this is where we say goodbye on this Friday morning.
All right. It's
Enjoy
going to be
your
a very
weekend.
cold one, but it should hopefully warm up just a tad bit. We'll see you back here on Monday morning at 7.
Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.